Hello to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world. To Global TV Midday News, we are in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziya Lukman. President Bola Tinubu on Friday assured foreign investors of diligent and predictable fund repatriation and the streamlining of tax system. He disclosed this when he received a letter of credence from the ambassador of Hungary, Laurent Edefrey, the High Commissioner of Rwanda, Christopher Bazivanu, and the Ambassador of Ukraine, Ivan Kolostenko, at the State House on Friday. He also urged ambassadors to prioritize the exploration of the new foreign relations that will be mutually beneficial as they carry out their duties in the country. Addressing the High Commissioner of Rwanda, the President says the long-standing concerns over trapped funds are receiving attention and that the funds will be processed expeditiously for release. President Bola Tinubu has hinted at plans by his administration to address what he termed historical inadequacy of policy making, which have been impeded by the lack of comprehensive data. He regretted lack of comprehensive data, saying it has been a technological difficulty that has hindered the growth trajectory of Nigeria and the entire Africa, hampering the ability to make informed governance decisions. President Tinubu stated this on Thursday during the 2023 Comptroller General of Customs Annual Conference at Lagos Continental Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. The President, who was represented at the conference by his deputy Kasim Shettima, said because data is guiding light in the ever-evolving landscape of the modern world, Nigeria can no longer afford the functions in the dark. The first President Oluremi Tinubu has urged the wives of state governors to complement President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for the good governance to spread across the board. She gave the admonition while receiving the wives of the governors across the nation and the FCT representatives in the presidential villa yesterday. She stated that it was imperative for the state leaders, especially those in opposition parties, with the presidential agenda in tackling issues affecting the citizenry. The First Lady lauded the voice of governors for their personal projects and initiative in their various states to assist the vulnerable in the society. The Supreme Court has upheld the federal government's appeal challenging the verdict of the appeal court, which dismissed the cases charged against Nnamdi Kanu. In upholding government's appeal, the Supreme Court held that Kanu must face trial at the Federal High Court. Sharon Najee has the details.
The Supreme Court, in the judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Ejim but prepared by Justice Garba Lawal, held that the Court of Appeal was wrong to rule that Kanu could not be tried again based on the illegality perpetrated against him by the federal government following the invasion of his home. Also, the court held that although the Nigerian government was reckless and unlawfully rendered Kanu from Kenya, such unlawful act has not divested any court from proceeding with trial. Justice Lawal said that no Nigerian law was cited in the suit seeking Kanu's release on the grounds of unlawful adoption from Kenya.
What the Supreme Court says represents the law. We respect it. We go by it. There is no other way. We had hoped that it would come our way, but it has gone the other way. It simply means that we have to go back to the High Court and get done with this quickly.
According to the court, at the moment, the remedy for such an action is for Kanu to file a civil matter against the act instead of remove the court to continue with this trial for alleged criminal charges. The Apex Court subsequently ordered that Kanu should go and defend himself in the remaining 7 counts of terrorism charges against him.
But I'm very consoled by what the Supreme Court said, that he ought not to have been treated the way he was treated. His bail ought not to have been revoked. His home ought to have been invaded. All that is a consolation to us. So we have hope.
Kanu was not present in court for the judgment, the latest development in a case that has lasted for years. Friday's judgment was delivered amidst tight security and followed calls by Ohanazie and some other Kanu's release. For Kanu's release. Kanu is the leader of the proscribed secessionist group, the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has been in detention since June 2021, when he was rearrested in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The Defense Headquarters has confirmed the killing of 4 notorious terrorist commanders in the airstrike within this week. They are Machika, Haru, Muhammadu and Ali Alaji Alheri, popularly called Kachalla Al-Kawaji. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, made this known in a statement on Saturday in Abuja. Buba said that Machika was a top terrorist bomb expert and the younger brother of the notorious terrorist Dogo Gaida, while Haru and Muhammadu were specially and SWOT operatives, respectively. He added that Kachalla was neutralized in the Munye local government area of Niger State, along with many of his foot soldiers. According to him, the military is fast closing in on others and they will equally suffer the same fate. Similarly, the Nigerian police force says it is a criminal offense for motorists to cover their number plates without a valid reason. The force public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi disclosed this in a statement via his X handle on Friday. According to the force PRO, it is compulsory to make registration numbers visible at all times. Adejobi said it is a common thing to see many vehicle owners and drivers to cover their number plates. For no reason, this is wrong and even criminal. He, however, said there are expectations for permanent officers and head of the 3 arms of the government, executive, legislative, and the judiciary, who use patents or flags on their official car, stating that the flags must be covered with the reg number or their seal of office on their cars. This impunity must stop in Nigeria and we need to know the right thing to do. Recall that the police had severally placed a ban on unauthorized use of unmarked vehicles and covered plate numbers across the country. In a bid to curb the menace of unregistered mining engineers, the federal government says it will process proposal for solid mineral investment for members of the Council of Nigerian Mining Engineers and Geoscientists, also called the COMEG, in recognition of their critical role in sector. Sharon Ajay wrote that the Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Dele Alake, announced that the new measures to induct of the council, where he announced that his ministry would not only attend to technical proposals for licenses and related procedures under the mining law with the sale of COMEG.
Landmark endorsement, the minister declared that all reports coming to the ministry must bear the GOMEG stamp, while also affirming that only GOMEG certified professionals will be recognized by the federal government, noting that these are critical elements needed in the reactivation efforts of the solid minerals sector.
As from today, no mining engineer or geoscientist will be recognized by the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development without being registered by COMEG. We need to sanitize the sector, and I've said this at various fora. We not only sanitize in terms of the physicals, in terms of security of the operating environment, putting in place proper funding mechanisms. And so without COMEG registering you as a practitioner, your reports will not be recognized by the Ministry of Solid Minerals, which means by this government, which means by Nigeria.
The minister charged inductees to avail themselves of constant knowledge to keep up with new innovations, stressing that having trained, the criticalities of their training will be put to bear on the success of President Bola Tinubu's vision of enabling the mining sector to play a crucial role in contributing significantly to the gross domestic product (GDP) of Nigeria. Speaking further, Alake admonished the inductees that GOMEG relies on them to shore up its reputation, whilst the ministry depends on their input to manifest the metrics of marketing the sector to global investors.
Your role in the value chain cannot be underemphasized or overemphasized either. Because you are professional engineers, you are professional geoscientists. These are very critical elements needed in the activation efforts of this solid mineral sector. So, if we do not get it right from your level, Nigeria can't get it right at the tertiary level of exploration and exploitation.
The minister, however, lauded the institution and its Director General, Professor Okpa Funsho, for training qualified mining engineers and geoscientists, emphasizing that the contribution of GOMEC to the technical expertise of mining sector cannot be overemphasized. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The old and the young from the Yaba community in Abaji Area Council of the FCT to the Leventis Foundation Agricultural Training School for the graduation ceremony of 147 graduates from set 2022 to 2023 respectively. The principal of the Leventis Training School, Agnes Youssef, in her speech, stated the reason behind the Leventis Foundation training.
The old and the young from Yaba community in Abaji Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory trooped out to Leventis Foundation Agricultural Training School for the graduation ceremony of 147 graduates from 2022 to 2023 year respectively. The principal of Leventis Training Institute, Agnes Yusuf, in her speech stated the reason behind Leventis Foundation training.
And empower youth for enhanced sustainable livelihood through agriculture or farming that is programmed to have a multiplier effect and is free of all costs to the trainees. This implies that training, accommodation, feeding youth trainees.
Graduation ceremony brought to delighted with the record so far. The executive director of the Leventis Foundation, Hope Osita, says,
from all across Nigeria that are resident in the FCT, some of them come outside of the FCT. They have gone through this, have gone on to set up their own agri-businesses, and they are thriving. They are producing food that we very much need in this country.
Chairman of the occasion and mandate secretary of the Federal Capital Territory Agriculture and Rural Development, Lukman Kolo Gadam, says the FCT government will continue to identify with the foundation to enhance agriculture efficiency in Abuja.
I would like to express my sincere appreciation on behalf of the FCT administration to the management of Leventis Foundation for their dedication to this partnership. To their commitment has been a fundamental factor in the success that we have been able to record so far. Let me take this opportunity to assure you that the Agri Secretariat will continue to do its best to address the challenges faced by the institution to improve your operational activities. We will also strengthen our post-graduation mentorship program through our zonal agri offices in the 6 area councils to help trainees excel in their respective areas of specialization.
One of the best outgoing student, Basi Omin, highlighted the area of focus after the free training courtesy of Leventis.
I'm actually going into livestock production, poultry specifically. I will start with poultry, but moving forward, I am also looking into going into crop production.
Since 1980, Leventis produced over 1,000 students that have benefited in various agricultural training schemes. Today, precisely a total of 147 students have graduated from last year as well as 2023. The school is expected to resume next year with a reporting from Leventis School here in Yaba, Abaji of the Federal Capital Territory.
The Enugu State government says it will reopen one lane of the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway collapsed bridge for use by December 24th. The State Commissioner for the Government House, Enugu, Governor Penta Mba of Enugu State, had on November 9th announced that the federal government will commence the reconstruction work on the collapsed bridge. Mba noted that the reconstruction will begin with palliative work on the one lane of the bridge that was standing to ensure it was ready for use within the next 10 days. Speaking to journalists, Otuji said the Federal Ministry of Work is reconstructing the Artisan Cattle Market Bridge in collaboration with the Enugu State Ministry of Works. A former governor of Anambra State in defunct Third Republic, Chukwuemeka Ezefe, is dead. Ezefe died at the Federal Medical Center in Abuja, according to signed by Rolf Ezefe of the family. The elder statesman died around 6 p.m. on yesterday. In a related development, President Bola Tinubu has sympathized with the Ezefe family, the people and the government of Anambra State on the passing of former governor of the state, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezefe. Ezefe, who was governor of Anambra from 1992 to 1993, died yesterday at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja, according to a statement by the family. In a press release by the spokesperson for the president, Ajuri Ngilali, on Thursday, Tinubu extolled the towering influence of the former federal permanent secretary in Nigeria's political landscape, as well as his leadership credentials, describing his passing as a painful loss. The president recalled the contributions the late Ezefe made in shaping of public discourse and governance in Nigeria, as well as in laying the foundation of the advancement of his state. The National Population Commission launched the 2023-2024 Nigerian Demographic Health Survey and would officially begin the reconstruction of the Akwa Ibom State NPC office building for the exercise. The chairman, National Population Commission, Nasser Kwara, while performing the ceremonies, assured all that NPC will deliver affordable, reliable, and acceptable population census in the country. He added that the Commission will leave no stone unturned in providing the necessary facilities for a comfortable work environment for its personnel. When return Mark news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this short break. Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to Global TV Midday News, coming to you live from the nation's capital. On the foreign scene, the court of the West African bloc ECOWAS ordered on Friday the release of Niger disposed President Mohamed Bazoum immediately from detention, where he was being held since a July 26 coup. The court called for his immediate and unconditional release and ordered that Bazoum be reinstated. Bazoum had been held in his presidential residence with his wife and their son since he was overthrown in mid-September. The deposed president appealed to the ECOWAS Court of Justice to obtain his release and restoration of constitutional order in the country. Nigeria is currently suspended from the Economic Community of West African States. Other member states have in the past ignored rulings from the ECOWAS Court. Meanwhile, Niger ruling military has agreed to terms and conditions of a transition back to civilian rule, and will present the plan to original bloc, the chief diplomat from Mediator Togo announced on Thursday. Speaking on Niger national television, Togo Foreign Minister Robert Dosey said he had agreement on the content and timing of the transition with Niger's junta-appointed Prime Minister Ali Mahama Zain and Foreign Minister Bakary Zambari. The sanctions and suspension of the international finance and aid have left Niger, already one of the world's poorest countries, economically hanging by the thread. And on the business scene, the Nigerian Labour Congress warned the federal government against heeding to the advice of the World Bank to increase the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to 750 naira per litre. The NLC's head of information, Benson Upa, said any further increase in the price of petrol will lead to anarchy in the country. He therefore called on the government to reject the proposal of the World Bank that petrol should be sold in most locations across the country. This came as the economic regulation of the maritime and blue economy. Speaking at the event, the Suki said that the sector, which was expected to deliver nothing less than 20%, was currently contributing less than 1%. The queue for premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, increased in parts of Lagos, Ogun, Abuja, Niger, Nasarawa, and a few other states on Friday as motorists besieged the stations that dispenses the commodity. But despite the situation on Friday, oil marketers stated that there was enough product to keep the country wet throughout the water season. They explained that the reason for queues in the affected state include panic buying by Motoring Company Limited was due to the lower PCL station as detrimental to their businesses and anti-competitive in the downstream oil sector. In Abuja, it was observed that some major outlets that used to dispense the commodity were locked on Friday, leading to a massive rush in a few outlets that sold to consumers. That's it on Global TV Midday News. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman. Thank you very much for watching. See you again.